If I were a magician, where would I go? Nap first or fish? What do you think, Jelly? Focus, Yuumi!
Let the bloodshed begin.
A clue!
Without mercy.
Blessed by snow and stars.
Let's see what her notes say. Keep going!
I am the Simon Wind! Whoosh!
Okay, first game we are playing against Twisted Fate and Karma. Really scary late game deck if they get their champions leveled. But we have a really strong early game hand. We just shuffled away the third card, getting a Darkened Fan and another one. Our two 1-drops are really strong. Dropping any early is good, pushing her level up soon. The Shimon Wind is always very solid in this deck, just repeatedly drawing cards. The opponent has the Coral creature, okay. We still attack with any, I think, just because the Coral creature doesn't kill her and it puts the Coral creature on 1 HP. The opponent doesn't really have too much ping effects, I think, because it's not an aggro deck. They could, of course, have the Make It Rain, but it's unlikely. Okay, a 4-2. I've seen that. I haven't seen that in a long time, but doesn't matter. We play the Darkened Fan on the Annie. Annie is one of the good units the Darkened Fan can be played on because she can attack multiple times. In this deck there are a lot of units that can't attack a lot of times because the Vastaran Disciple just gets recalled. Katarina gets recalled. You want to put the Kennen in the Black Flame almost every time. Okay, turn 4 we drop the Greyback. We don't really have much other options. We could have played the Shimon Wind, but the Greyback is just so solid right now. They kill the Annie with the red card.
Something for all of you.
That was to be expected. They have mana for, but attacking with her wouldn't have been worth. Of course, we pop the Shimon Wind on focus speed and attack with it and the Greyback. It's just 6 damage to face. There isn't really anything the opponent can do against it. Okay, they block with the 4-2, saving them 3 damage from the Greyback's skill, but Of course, it was a huge misplay from the opponent. The 1-1 would have done the exact same job. Putting the opponent in a not so good spot right now. The 4-2 was really scary for me, and now they just gave it away for free. The opponent chooses to draw a lot of cards. Okay, Twisted Fate level up is pretty strong, but we are not that concerned about that right now. Our current hand is really late game heavy. There are a lot of draw spells. There are a lot of blockers with the Eye of the Dragon, lifesteal blockers even. We have 2 of the Darkened Fans that can give us 3 really nice units. Yeah, the 2 Vestan Winds, Vestan Disciples, I'm sorry, are just nice blockers. We have the 2 draw cards in hand. We don't need all of our monkeys. The Eye of the Dragon, of course, comes down to just a really solid card. The 4-2 lifesteal unit from the opponent is really uncomfortable right now, just because we can't really block it. Our Greyback is such a nice card in the late game for us. It's one of the core cards of this deck. It's just we don't want to sacrifice that. The Dark Fan on the Greyback, of course, it's, as I mentioned before, one of the 2 cards that really want to attack multiple times, it and any. In the late game, of course, Tybulk can 2 equip it, or if you get Tibbers, that's also a solid choice. But generally, it's just any and the Greyback. Attacking with them, yeah, just getting another Shimmer Wind in hand, draw 1 more card. The opponent blocks with the lifesteal. Was to be expected, was the right play for the opponent if they don't count for the Disintegrate. Disintegrate, of course, denies them lifesteal, pushes more damage to face because our Greyback has Overwhelm. The opponent also sacrifices the color creature for our Dragonling. Interesting choice. I don't know if I would have done that, but I can't say it's objectively wrong. Twisted Fate right now is staying a long time on the board. I don't think he's too far off of leveling.
Ionia speaks through me.
Karma dropping 2. We are on mana 6 right now, so 4 turns away, now only 3 turns. Okay, we are keeping the Shimmering Wind in hand, of course, because it's a really cheap flow proc for next turn, and we don't have that many spells we want to cast. Otherwise we would have almost had to play the 2 4-cost spells to proc flow for the next turn. Zephyr's Brayfin, really scary too, because they can just block our Shimmering Winds like they are nothing. And now we get the Black Flame, of course, instantly dropping it onto the Greyback, securing it, not letting the opponent kill it with any shenanigans they might have. Now we will have our Greyback attacking every time we do, which is so nice with this deck, especially later on when we get our Tybulk who buffs the Greyback and its skill by 1.
Looks like trouble.
Okay, opponent goes for a full swing. We equipped our Vestan Disciple with the Darkened Fan, of course, so we can trade with the Zephyr's Brayfin. And then we just block the biggest hitters while letting our Eye of the Dragon live, because she gives us the Dragonling next turn, which is an attacker. And since we can attack, we get our Greyback then. I think we open attack here. Yes, it's just the safe bet, not letting them stop us from attacking, just getting the Greyback to attack. Getting the skill, which also levels our conservatories even further, who are at, I think, 6 skills right now, skills or spells, and here's this TF level up. Yeah, that was to be expected. We don't really have our movers in hand right now. Usually we would need Kennen, we would need the Spellslinger, we would need Katarina to remove certain back row units, and we didn't draw them, but we are not scared at all. They only have their champions. We have the Scorched Earth. TF is already damaged from our Eye of the Dragon last turn, so we can even remove him.
Soak it in.
Him only getting the blue card out isn't too bad for us. We have a lot of board space right now and not a lot to play, so I think as soon as the opponent or decides what to play, it will be the Shell Shocker. I think we will just drop the Graven Bloom, yes. We just saw Kennen is already leveled, so if we draw him that would be really nice, but we don't have a Black Flame. Usually we want Kennen to be put in a Black Flame as soon as we drop him, just because he is killed so easily. Here is the Kennen, okay, just missing a Black Flame right now. We are popping the 4-mana draw 2 to maybe find the second Black Flame, and here it is, so instantly popping the Kennen.
Ultimate Tempest Strike!
Who is leveled. Nice.
I am lightning. I break the wind.
Okay, now we just hope to survive this turn, which shouldn't be a problem. We have our Dragonling with lifesteal. The opponent has only 3 attackers. And if we really need to, we could even block with the... Oh, there is the Ghost on the Karma. Okay, this is 6 damage. If they have any buff, they should win this. Okay, this is just a healing potion, not too scary. Of course, they pop the healing potion in case we have another Scorched Grounds. We don't, we are at 2 HP and we pop the Black Flame on Kennen as already announced. Okay, now we are looking really good. If they don't have any make it raids or warning shots, we should be good to win this. We use the Mark of the Storm, of course, just to level our Tubolks or our Ravenbloom Conservatories even further. And putting a Mark on Karma is really good as well too. And we have 4 mana to spare, so here comes our other Greyback. Okay, Karma is now leveled, which is really strong for the opponent. Every spell they cast is now doubled. But we aren't too bad off either. We attack with our Greyback and our Dragonling and getting another Greyback and a level 2 Kennen to attack with us. Kennen being summoned and attacking instantly gives us 2 of the Mark of the Storms, which can stun an opponent, even if they don't choose to block our Kennen. They choose to block our Kennen, which wasn't expected. I would have expected him to block our Greyback with the 9 HP unit to save more HP. If I've known that, I would have tried to get rid of 1 more card in hand just so we can get our 3rd Mark of the Storm. But because we didn't, we only have 1. Okay, we have to kill the Karma. Of course, we have to kill we have to try to kill the Zepsbraven because he's lethal next turn. If we don't, if the opponent can prevent us from playing Devastating Disciple. I just tried to fill the stack so the opponent can't react to our removal, but there's 1 spell too little on the stack, so that won't be possible. We will just have to hope that the opponent can stop both. If they can let 1 survive, they will most likely keep Karma alive, and that is fine. Yes, indeed, they cast the deny on the right spell, of course. If they would have denied our Mark of the Storm, that would have been just huge misplay. Okay, Zepsbraven dies and our Kennen comes back to hand. The Karma lives. Of course, we could play Kennen right now, getting another Mark of the Storm, pinging another 2 damage onto the Karma, but she would still be at 1 HP. The opponent also has a Black Flame. Interesting. Black Flame on the Mirai Great Mother is a cool combo. He will get another card, another cheap spell in the deck every time he attacks now. But the combo comes way too late, in my opinion. So we're just playing our Tubolk, buffing everything we do by 1 damage. And we mark the Karma. So if we drop Kennen next turn, we can kill Karma with the Mark of the Storm. Okay, we get our Dragonling. We have a lot of options right now. The opponent plays a lifesteal unit, not too nice. They are at 9 HP. We are looking to kill them next turn if possible. But of course we have to play Mark of the Storm to kill Karma. Killing Karma right now is very important. The opponent gets 4 free spells in hand. Not free, it costs 2 mana, but any of those spells could be a warning shot, could be a make it rain, and both could be very lethal. But it looks like they didn't get either of them, because if they had, they would have already played them. Okay, looking good. If they don't have lethal right now, they don't have it at all. Okay, the free attack with the strongest unit, that's 3 lifesteal again. That is not good, but we will try to kill the Karma Waiting even longer wouldn't be really beneficial to us. Of course, we lose our Kennen right now, but there's nothing we can do about that. Of course, attacking for free also summons the Mirai Great Mother from the Black Flame, but Black Flame only triggers once per turn, so there is no concern for another Mirai Great Mother if he attacks naturally.
This is my cause.
So we just block with the Dragonling, so we heal 2. Now we are not in kill range anymore. It was to be expected that they save the Karma. It's just a Karma deck with 5 mana left.
And a lot of pain.
Would be very weird if they didn't have anything. Of course, we now stun their lifesteal unit, not letting them attack another time, putting them at max HP. And now they are at 3 mana. There isn't much left to do for them, so we just chill and play our Dragon Fans on the Greyback. And the opponent, of course, got the Harrowing from the Mirai Great Mother, but them only having 3 board spaces, this isn't really scary. Okay, but very, very annoying that they got another lifesteal unit. Now they are back at 19 HP. But we are at 8 HP, so they are way out of their kill range, which is really nice for us. Our Tibble Glyphs, we equip him with another Darken Fan, so...
I don't do
yes.
meditation.
Not Darken, the Vastan Disciple coming onto the board right now. If we open attack next turn, that is very, very deadly, especially since we draw our Ravenous Flock right now. This is really good for us. Okay, open attacking, summoning the cannon, getting 2 Mark of the Storms as well, being able to remove another overwhelm blocker.
Find enlightenment.
Of course, a small misplay on my part is attacking with the Vastan Disciple. We are looking to kill him this turn, and instead we could have had another free attacker from a Dragonling, but it shouldn't make a big difference. If he blocks this way, we can flock his lifesteal unit, denying him the lifesteal, enabling our Greyback to hit face with his skill 2. The opponent has a 4 HP block at burst speed, of course. That is not really nice. But he blocks an Overwhelm unit, which is good for us again, because we have the stun in hand from Kennen. So we can remove this Overwhelm blocker for free, pushing 4 more damage. And of course, here comes the flock on the lifesteal unit. If the opponent can't do anything about that, this will be lethal. Will we have done it? Will we have beaten the level 2 Karma and the level 2 Twisted Fate? Yes, we have. Really nice game. Okay. Just enjoying the attack right now.
The wind howls.
And I will see you in the next game. Okay, welcome back to the second game. We are playing against Sejuani Gankplank. Pirate aggro really scary if we don't have the right hand. We have Darken Fans and Greybacks in hand. It looks like an aggro hand for us, so we are looking for cheaper units. We get the Ravenbloom and the 4 mana draw 2. Not ideal, but we get the Shimmer and Wind finally, a 1-drop. Really saves this hand. If we didn't find him, we wouldn't have anything to play until mana 4. But we didn't. Of course, we found the Shimmer and Wind. Really nice save. We can't play to deny his 2-1 hitting our face, leveling his champions, of course. We just have to hope that our game plan is stronger right now. We can't use our Vastan Disciple to stop him from hitting. Dropping the Tibulk in this case, we don't need much board space with this hand. We just need this Tibulk a few turns earlier. We open attack with the Vastan Disciple. He has 6 mana. This deck just runs the Spirits Unleashed. We can't afford to lose 2 Vastan Disciples at once. That would just be game losing. And we now wait. The opponent has 6 mana. There's a lot they can do. There comes a spell. Yes, it is the Spirits Unleashed. We are playing this correctly. Of course, still not very good for us. Spirits Unleashed is buffing all the units they will play in the future by 1-1, and it pinged our face again, putting the champions 1 more closer to the level up. But it would have been so much worse if we would have lost 2 Vastan Disciples right now. Opponent attacks again putting the champions to 3 out of 5. Getting dangerously close to level up, but we can't do anything about that. We have to raise them right now. Put the Greyback on the stack. We put the Darken Fan on the Greyback. Really nice combo. We love it. And we will open attack most likely with the Shimmen Wind in our back pocket. The opponent steals 1 card from us. That is not nice. And he steals an... Oh, wow. This is really nice for the opponent. The second card he stole, of course, is not only 1 mana cheaper, it is 2 mana cheaper. Because of the 2 black market merchants. Here we have the Kennen. Okay, we have the 2 Vastine Disciples. We are looking to level up our Kennen. There's another Vastine Disciple. Kennen will level this game. It's a guarantee. We open attack, of course, getting our Dragonling again, healing for 2 more. The opponent has his Make It Rain, but that wasn't too bad. Of course, it hit our face, which is scary, but it didn't hit the Vastine Disciple, not denying us our draw, not denying us the damage. Could have been worse. Could have hit both. And now we wait for the opponent to think he has 4 mana. He can't play a champion. He can't really play anything too scary. The opponent is taking a long time to think. Of course, he has 2 cheaper cards in hand. The cards he stole from me are cheaper than normal. So he has a lot of options right now to go through. He has to really think about what he has to do. His deck in general is pretty cheap, except for his champions and the Spirits Unleashed. Spirits Unleashed and the champions are no concern right now because he has not enough mana for them. But everything else can be played. And here's the Marai Warden. Very, very scary card. We have to consider he has 2 mana left. He could have stolen the Black Flame. Black Flame on the Marai Warden would have been very scary, giving him a 3/2 attacker every time he attacks and a normal unit on the board. That would be really, really bad for us. Of course, Black Flame not only on the Marai Warden, also on one of his 2 champions would be really scary. Here's the Godwiller's Healing, the 1-cost landmark. So this card was reduced by 2. He tried to plunder, I think. Didn't work. Plunder, of course, wouldn't work even if we pinged our face this turn. Plunder is a play effect, not a summon effect. We play the Shimmen Wind as a blocker. We could have saved him for next turn to get a flow proc, but right now we need the blockers. His board is very wide. We drew the Eye of the Dragon, really, really good card right now. We need the lifesteal. We are getting really, really close to dying because we don't want to sacrifice our good units. And here comes the Sejuani, really, really good for us. We can use the Spell Slinger to stun her. We have 2 Raven's Flocks in hand, we have a Disintegrate in hand, so the Sejuani will be no threat to us. We could kill her on the spot, but instead the play will be to keep her alive 1 more turn, just so we can flow even longer. Opponent attacks, of course, we would like to kill the 3/1, but he will pull it, so we can't. So we just block as much as we can. We don't need all those Vastine Disciples. We have the draw card in hand, we have another Disciple in hand. The Disciples did their job of leveling Kennen really nice already. And as I already mentioned, we will put 1 Ravenous Flock on the Sejuani, putting her down to 4 HP now because she is leveled, and also activating Flow. We don't need another spell for Flow. Of course, we also don't play the Kennen right now. Kennen gives us another free spell next turn we can use to proc the Flow. So we just go into the next round. Also, the level 2 Sejuani on board could lead to the opponent making a small misplay by trying to freeze our board, not knowing that we can kill the Sejuani. So we drop the Kennen right now, giving us the Mark of the Storm. We were looking for the Black Flame with the draw card right now, we didn't find it. But we still have to play the Kennen. Kennen is just too strong right now. And now we wait for the opponent to respond. Oh yes, here is the Tusk Speaker. The Tusk Speaker will ping our face. The opponent tried to freeze us, preventing us from attacking. But here pays off that we were not too hasty. We were waiting for the ideal moment to kill his Sejuani. And now it paid off. We don't play the Vastine Disciple. I think we just open attack, taking the 2 healing to face, taking not even 2, the 4, because we have the Darkened Fan on the Greyback. We are taking the 2 Mark of the Ice, being able to remove another unit from his board. this turn is so big for us. We are ahead now. This turn just won us the game, I think. There's not much the opponent can do to win anymore. Of course, we could play our cards right now, but there is no need. We don't have to kill anything. Our attackers do that for us. And killing the 4-3 would be way too expensive with that things. And the opponent drops the Gankplank, really good for us. Now it pays off that we kept those 3 Mark of the Storms in the hand. We can just stun him, dealing 2 damage to him. Of course, we could give him the Sejuani treatment, letting him live. We already have Flow procced and killing him next turn, so that Flow is easier to proc next turn. But we don't want Gankplank to open attack with his skill. That is really, really scary, so we have to kill him on the spot. Even if he can survive this Flock somehow, we even have to disintegrate, so there's nothing the opponent can do. We are looking really good to win right now. I don't know how the opponent could come back from this, possibly. We even got the Turbolg right now, buffing everything we have by 1 more damage, so we mark the 4-3. With the next Mark of the Storm we have empowered by Turbolg, it will be a kill on him. And the opponent is taking a long time to think with his 1 spell mana. The only card I can think of in his region that would be playable right now is the Gankplank signature spell. But I don't think he main decks that. Of course, with the barrel, the Gankplank signature spell kills either my Kennen or my Greyback. But he doesn't have it, so we go into the next round, summoning the Dragonling. Having a lot of blockers right now. The opponent opens with the Spirits Unleashed. That is really scary because of the barrel. It deals 2 damage to everything. Luckily for us, we have the second cannon in hand, being able to save the cannon from the damage, killing the Keck in the process, which saves us the Greyback, and of course 1 Nexus health, which is minuscule. We have the cannon in hand, but also the Turbolg. We instead drop Turbolg. The opponent drops our Greyback. They don't have Noxus, so this is the second card they stole from us. We drop the cannon, so we have another Mark of the Storm in hand. We can kill the 5-3. We sacrifice our Turbolg because we now have Lethal on board with open attack. And we will see if the opponent can stop this Lethal. No, they see the Lethal too, and they will surrender to save our time. Very nice of the opponent. GG, and on to the next game.
The storm has broken them.
Okay, we are going into the 3rd and last game of the day. Fizz Yuumi, even more aggressive than the last deck we played against Pirate Aggro. This deck goes vertical with Overrun or elusive units to kill his opponent. Very scary. We don't have the really nicest hand. We were looking for cheaper units and we didn't find them. So we will just drop the Conservatory, letting him tick down earlier. We can't really wait. We need the Turbolg as soon as possible in this hand. The opponent that doesn't seem to have the fastest start either. He drops the Assistant Librarian on 2 though. We could have stunned him getting a blocker, but denying him 1 draw for this isn't worth. But denying him 2 draw is worth it, so we will drop our Spellslinger right now, stunning 1 Assistant Librarian, being able to block the other. Hoping the opponent doesn't have any way to stop us. He does have a Pokestick, which is unfortunate. He will get 1 draw through anyway, but nothing we can do about it anymore. Opponent is attacking, yes, but we will kill the other Assistant Librarian. Killing it later will be difficult. Right now it's stunned, it's a free kill. So we will take that.
Don't think I know that one.
So opponent has 0 mana, so he will get into the next turn. We now have 4 mana with 2 spell mana. We could play Katarina or the Greyback. Katarina, of course, when attacking goes back to your hand, so we don't keep her as a blocker, which is why we instead choose the Greyback. It's also a very good attacker, removing its blocker before it strikes the Nexus itself, in case the blocker has too little HP. The Starlit Seer comes through, not being able to block our Greyback without buffs either. We just attack. If the opponent wants to sacrifice a buff and a unit to kill our Greyback, we are a-okay with that. Opponent is thinking about doing it. I can see it in his hand. He wants to kill the Greyback and is thinking if it's worth. But if he takes this long to think about it, most likely is not worth it. 2 mana, there is a lot of things. He could even have the troll chant, which would destroy us completely, but of course we can't play around that with this hand. We just have to take some risks right now. Here comes the 3rd assistant librarian. How many does this man have? Oh my god. Okay, turn 5, we have 2 mana more. The opponent drops his Yuumi now. There comes the champion. Katarina gives us the Blade Edge, of course, so that's why we will play her. Blade's Edge plus my Flock will kill almost anything the opponent has. We block the other Assistant Librarian, block the Starlit Seer. We have a 2nd Katarina in hand, which is why we are not too afraid to sacrifice our first. We just hope the opponent can't save his Assistant Librarian. He chooses to save the small one instead of the big one. Okay. Interesting choice. We are playing Noxus with Annie and Katarina. It should be obvious that we are running Ravenous Flock, but maybe the opponent has another one. He does not. This is good. If the opponent would have had another buff, this would have cost us the game, very likely. But it didn't, so now we have a good shot of winning. Here comes the Vastaya Disciple, increasing our odds once again, giving us more draw than we already have in our hand, giving us cheap units. And we see the Tybalt is coming out next turn guaranteed. We can drop him if we want. Here comes the trigger trade from the opponent, giving him either an Octopus or one of 2 spells he wants to choose from his regions. Of course, I think 1 or 2 cost spells, so nothing really dangerous to us. Of course, ping effects are annoying against our low HP units, but right now there could be worse. The Yuumi, of course, drops again onto the Assistant Librarian, making it a 6-6, turning it into a 7-7 next turn. Not really great for us, but luckily we have blockers for it. Here comes the Fizz, very late into the game. Not many buffs onto him, so he's not really dangerous. We are drawing the Eye of the Storm, and any flow is not triggered yet. We will want to draw another card. Of course, we could have played the Eye of the Dragon with a tune to get the Drangling next turn, but proccing any right here is the right call. I think it's to debate.
Don't think I know that one.
Now that I think of it, the Drangling would have been a free blocker, but we are in no hurry whatsoever. We have the Vastaya Disciple to block the Assistant Librarian anyway. Opponent has another Trinket trade, giving him another card. Okay, and of course making Fizz elusive. We could block with the Vastaya Disciple, killing Fizz, but it's very likely that the opponent has any buff to save his Fizz, so it's better to just save the 7 HP for ourselves. Here comes the Entreat. If this is another Fizz, this is very, very unlucky for us. The Playful Tricks, of course, removing one attacker from attacking and rallying, not really good for us, but he looks like he drew a Yuumi instead because he didn't use it, so we will drop our Tybalt. Tybalt buffing everything again. And again, I mean this game again. Not like we played any Tybalt this game already. Opponent leveling Fizz, yeah, that was to be expected. He's playing a lot of spells in his deck. But Fizz right now isn't really a concern for us. The Chamda Warders aren't too scary right now. Here comes another push, so he did choose another push. Maybe him pranking us isn't too scary. Here comes the Pouty Poro, buffed already. Okay, this is a bit scary because he is tough and has regeneration. If you can't kill him, he will just go back to full HP. The prank is really bad for the opponent. Pranking the Eye of the Dragon to 0 attack doesn't matter because it's a backline unit. We won't need its power very likely. Nerfing the Greyback isn't too big of a deal either. It still has its skill that is unaffected by the prank. Blocking with it was never an option for us. We needed to attack, we needed to kill the opponent. Here comes the Prowling Projectile the opponent drew from the Entreat to put our Annie into Pokestick range, most likely. and of course to proc the Faded on the Assistant Librarian. We are going into turn 6, first drawing something. We are hoping for maybe a Black Flame, maybe something good. We didn't draw anything. That is really, really bad. So we attack, trying to get him to block our Tybalt with his Assistant Librarian, getting him lower on HP. And of course we have to attack with Annie. We have to get this flow running, so we have the Dragonling blockers next turn. Opponent of course blocks the Tybalt with the Assistant Librarian, putting it down to 1 HP. Finally, it is in Flock range, it is in Katarina range, but we won't play Katarina of course, because this deck has so many buffs. Here comes one, okay. The Inner Beast, really scary, giving him a stand swap, being able to put Overwhelm onto his Assistant Librarian. We are looking really, really bad right now. The only way we can survive this, if he chooses to put Overwhelm on him, he does, is by drawing Flock, is by drawing the Scorched Earth. Luckily for us, we have the 4-mana draw 2, so we have 3 chances to draw either of them. 2 Flocks would do it, 1 Scorched Earth, a Flock and a Disintegrate would do it as well. So we are looking, okay, this is a Darkened Fan, not too ideal. We are now dependent on the 4-mana draw 2. Opponent is open attacking. As expected, our lifesteal units will not be able to keep up with this overwhelm damage. Here is the Troll Champ to reduce our lifesteal even more, putting Fizz to elusive. Now we just have to hope. And here's the Concussive Palm, of course, another card can save us right now. Stunning the overwhelm unit. If in case he doesn't have Friendship, Friendship will win him the game, but he didn't proc it yet, so it looks like he does not have it. Safety blocking with the Dragonling, of course, wouldn't have made a difference. If he could stop this Concussive Palm from going through, he would have won anyway. But he does not. Really, really good for us. Buying one more turn, buying 2 more draws to maybe find something to kill his Assistant Librarian. Yuumi is not yet leveled, so he does not have the lifesteal. Right now we are playing the Captive Greyback, a really good attacker. It is already buffed by the Tybalt we played earlier, so his skill does not deal 3 damage, but 4 damage to his blocker or the enemy nexus. Here comes the Jump the Water, giving our Eye of the Dragon vulnerable and summoning a Toothless. Not Toothless. That's the dragon from How to Train Your Dragon. Okay, next turn. We have to really wing it this turn. We have to make it big. So we drop the Katarina. Katarina will attack and rally for us. But not yet. We will first play the Darkened Fan on the Greyback. The Greyback being one of our best Darkened Fan carriers, as I already explained. We still drew not a single Black Flame, which is the core card of this deck, but it looks like we could still win without it. Kennen is most likely leveled by the attacking Dragonling, because we already summoned 4 Dragonlings, 2 last turn, 2 this turn, and when the Greyback attacks, it will be another one. Dealing 1 to everything is not too bad. We don't need those Dragonlings. Lifestealing will not save us this game. What will save us this game is killing the opponent right now, so we'll drop the Katarina, still having 5 mana left, enough for 1 Kennen and another Katarina after she levels. Here comes the Bone Club, another really scary 8/8 overwhelm regeneration unit. But we will attack with the Greyback, summoning another Dragonling, leveling our Kennen, giving us another Mark of the Storm, so that we can stun the blocker of the overwhelm unit. Also, Katarina attacks, she will level. I don't think the opponent can stop Katarina from leveling, so we will be able to attack once more with our Greyback. We are looking really good. The opponent will most likely try to block the Greyback. Of course, the opponent can see our Mark of the Storms in hand, but there's not much he can do about it. Opponent is blocking everything he can. He should really block with Fizz and the Shark too, because if I use my Mark of the Storms, this is lethal. Mark of the Storms stuns his Assistant Librarian, pushing 5 more damage. No, even 4 plus 3 is 7 more damage because of the skill of the Greyback and the Greyback both hitting his Nexus after that. Even if he can stop that with a Friendship in hand, or I don't know what, the Katarina will level, giving us another rally. We will see. He has 4 mana, this is enough for a lot of things. He could even ping my, yes, there it is, another Prowling Projectile. Pinging my Dragonling, stopping him. We could now just kill Fizz, he doesn't have any spells in hand left, but this would put us at 3 mana, a massive misplay on my part. We just keep the 4 mana, Katarina levels right now, we drop her. The Blade's Edges of Katarina of course deal 2 damage right now, the exact HP the opponent's Nexus has. So even the 0 mana Blade's Edge we get from the level 2 Katarina will be lethal, as well as the open attack, because the opponent has no good blockers anymore with the Assistant Librarian stunned. So now we rally the opponent, now seeing my Blade's Edge. I don't think there's much he can do, he has no cards and he sees it, he will surrender, and this is GG. Alright, these were 3 games from my nice deck, and thank you for watching.